Imagine you're sitting down with a cup of coffee. Maybe you've got this video playing in the background, and you're thinking, I want to understand how business really works without getting buried in jargon or wasting years in school. That's exactly what the Personal MBA by Josh Kaufman is about. This book exists to answer one simple question. What do you actually need to know to succeed in business, no matter what kind of business you're in? This video is a full, big-picture walkthrough of the ideas in the book, explained in simple language, like we're talking it through together. No complicated theories, no fancy buzzwords, just practical ideas you can recognize, remember, and actually use. By the end of this, you'll understand how businesses create value, attract attention, make sales, deliver results, manage money, work with people, and design a life that doesn't burn you out. So let's dive in. At its core, every business exists to do one thing: create value for other people. Value is not some abstract concept, it's simply making something better for someone else. That might mean solving a painful problem, saving time, saving money, reducing stress, or helping someone feel happier, healthier, or more confident. If you don't create value, nothing else matters. No marketing trick or sales tactic can save a business that doesn't actually help people in a meaningful way. Josh Kaufman talks a lot about understanding what people truly want. Most of the time, people aren't buying products, they're buying outcomes. They're buying relief, comfort, status, security, or freedom. A gym membership isn't really about treadmills, it's about feeling strong and confident. A software tool isn't about features, it's about saving time or avoiding mistakes. When you understand this, you stop thinking like a business owner and start thinking like a human being who's trying to help other human beings. One of the most powerful ideas in the book is that value increases when something is easier, faster, more reliable, more flexible, or more enjoyable. If you can improve any of those areas, you're increasing value. A product that works half as well but takes 10 times less effort can still be incredibly valuable. This is why convenience often beats perfection. People don't want the best thing in theory, they want the best thing in real life. Once you've created value, the next challenge is making sure people know it exists. This is where marketing comes in, and Kaufman makes a very important point here. Marketing is not about manipulation. It's not about tricking people into buying something they don't want. Real marketing is about communication. It's about clearly and honestly explaining who something is for, what it does, and why it matters. Good marketing starts with understanding your audience. You need to know what they care about, what frustrates them, what they're afraid of, and what they hope for. When your message matches what someone already wants, it feels natural, not pushy. That's why the best marketing often feels like helpful advice instead of an advertisement. Attention is a limited resource. People are busy, distracted, and overwhelmed. If you want attention, you need to earn it by being relevant and useful. That might mean teaching something, entertaining someone, or telling a story they recognize themselves in. Clarity matters more than cleverness. If people don't understand what you're offering within a few seconds, they move on. Marketing also works best when it's consistent. Trust is built over time. When people see you show up again and again with useful information or a clear message, they start to believe you. They begin to associate your name with something valuable. That trust makes everything else easier. Once someone is interested, the next part of the puzzle is sales. Sales often gets a bad reputation, but Kaufman reframes it in a refreshing way. Sales is not about pressure, it's about helping someone make a decision that improves their life. If your product truly creates value, selling becomes an act of service. People hesitate to buy for predictable reasons. They worry it won't work. They worry it's too expensive. They worry it's too complicated. They worry they'll regret the decision. A good sales process simply addresses these fears honestly. It answers questions, removes uncertainty, and makes the next step feel safe. One powerful idea from the book is that people don't buy when they understand, they buy when they feel understood. When you acknowledge their situation and reflect it back to them, trust increases. The goal isn't to talk more, it's to listen better. Pricing also plays a huge role in sales. Price is not just a number, it's a signal. It communicates quality, confidence, and expectations. Charging too little can actually reduce trust, while charging more can make something feel more valuable. The right price is one that fairly reflects the value you deliver and allows the business to sustain itself. After the sale comes something many people overlook: value delivery. This is where promises meet reality. It's not enough to make a sale once. A successful business consistently delivers on what it says it will do. When delivery is smooth, reliable, and even enjoyable, customers come back, tell others, and stick around longer. Value delivery is about systems. It's about designing processes that work even when you're tired, distracted, or busy. Clear steps, checklists, automation, and routines all help reduce errors and stress. The more predictable your delivery, the more trust you earn. Customer experience matters deeply here. How easy is it to get started? How clear are the instructions? How quickly are problems resolved? Small details add up. Often, people remember how a business made them feel more than what they technically delivered. Money is another major theme in the Personal MBA, and Kaufman explains it in a refreshingly simple way. Businesses need money for oxygen. Without it, even great ideas die. Understanding basic finance is not about spreadsheets or complex formulas. It's about knowing where money comes from, where it goes, and how to make sure more comes in than goes out. Revenue is money coming in. Expenses are money going out. Profit is what's left over. That's it. Everything else builds on that foundation. A business that grows revenue but ignores expenses can collapse just as easily as one that never grows at all. Cash flow is especially important. You can be profitable on paper and still go out of business if you run out of cash. Timing matters. When money comes in and when it goes out can make or break a company. This is why reserves and buffers are so valuable. They buy you time and flexibility. Kaufman also emphasizes that financial clarity reduces stress. When you know your numbers, you make better decisions. You're not guessing, you're choosing. Fear thrives in uncertainty, and clarity is the antidote. Another huge part of the book focuses on human psychology. Businesses are run by people and serve people, and people are not purely rational. We're emotional, biased, and influenced by our environment. Understanding basic psychology gives you a massive advantage. People are motivated by incentives. They respond to rewards, recognition, and progress. They avoid pain, embarrassment, and loss. If you design systems that align with how people naturally behave, things run much smoother. If you fight human nature, you'll constantly struggle. Habits are powerful. Most of what people do every day is automatic. Businesses that fit into existing habits grow faster than those that require people to change everything. The easier something is to adopt, the more likely it is to succeed. Social proof also plays a big role. People look to others to decide what's safe and valuable. Reviews, testimonials, and word of mouth are incredibly powerful because they reduce uncertainty. When someone sees that people like them have already benefited, hesitation drops. The book also spends a lot of time on systems thinking. A business is not a single action, it's a collection of interconnected parts. When one part breaks, the whole system suffers. Improving a system means fixing bottlenecks rather than working harder. Small improvements compound over time. A tiny increase in efficiency, quality, or clarity can produce massive results if it's applied consistently. This is why sustainable growth looks boring from the outside. It's the result of many small, smart decisions repeated over and over. Kaufman talks about productivity in a way that feels humane instead of exhausting. Being productive isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters. Attention and energy are limited resources. If you spend them on the wrong things, no amount of hustle will save you. Clear goals help focus effort. When you know what you're trying to achieve, it's easier to say no to distractions. Rest is not a luxury, it's a requirement. Burnout doesn't make you stronger, it makes you sloppy. Learning is another recurring theme. The most valuable skill in business is the ability to learn quickly. Markets change, tools change, and customer needs evolve. People who keep learning adapt. People who don't fall behind. One of the most powerful messages in the book is that you don't need permission to start. You don't need an MBA, a fancy title, or perfect confidence. You need curiosity, discipline, and a willingness to help people. Most business skills are learnable, and most mistakes are survivable. The book also challenges the idea that success requires sacrificing everything else. A business should support your life, not consume it. Designing work that aligns with your values leads to better decisions and longer-term success. Money is important, but so is freedom, health, and meaning. As the book wraps up, Kaufman encourages readers to think like owners, even if they're employees. Ownership is a mindset. It means taking responsibility, looking for ways to create value, and understanding how your actions affect the whole system. This mindset makes you more effective in any role. So, when you zoom out, the Personal MBA is really about understanding how the world works at a practical level. It strips business down to its essentials and shows that success isn't about brilliance or luck, it's about consistently doing simple things well. And that brings us to the end. If there's one big takeaway from this entire book, it's this. Business is not mysterious, it's human. It's about helping people, communicating clearly,